So, welcome again.
Thank you.
I remember reading in one of the interviews that you really wanted to visit East Europe, like Poland, obviously, and Turkey.
Yeah.
So how's it been so far?
Great. Well, this is day one. You know, I just got in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But it actually started a couple of weeks ago when I found out, that we were going to get the job of doing music. Anytime you go on vacation, the trip starts when you buy your ticket.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty excited and honored that it's been the music that's brought me this far, and that there are people listening in every corner of the globe. I like that.
Talking about music, did you get to hear in Turkish music?
Not since I've been here.
On radio?
No.
Okay. I know that you started playing guitar when you were 18. So did you get any formal training?
No formal training. No. Since I was a little kid, I felt called to sing, and I felt I could conjure up lyrics and create channel songs. And I did that with a piano as a kid, or drums, but it wasn't until I was 18 that I got my first guitar and realized the mobility and the freedom that I had with it. Never any formal training, unfortunately. I'm still light years behind where I'd like to be, but feeling that way always pushes me.
What were your influences when you were a kid? And now?
Influences. I think teachings have been influences on me more than anything, whether I'm learning about astrology or I'm learning about sort of indigenous ways of being, long before society kind of took over and added all these extra rules. Books I read, documentaries I read, whenever there's a new bit of information that seems to permeate my brain, I want to figure that out, and songwriting has been my way of kind of understanding life.
The reason I asked that was that there are a lot of different sounds in your music. Jazz, Latin, funk.
Yeah.
So, how do you bring all that
well,
together?
if you ever rode in a car with me, you'd probably be annoyed because I'm always changing the stations. It's like I try something, okay, I'm lucky if I can get through a whole song. But I love more of the public stations where you'll hear jazz or classical music, less commercials, more melodies and just improvisations. So that I love, and I think the same is applied when I start writing music. When I have a lyric or a groove, once you start producing it, it can go a variety of ways. It can go any which direction. I don't usually sit down and say I'm going to write a reggae song. I just write a song. And then once it's written, you can start experimenting with where this song wants to dance. So on an album, I like to have a lot of different styles revealed, and similarly for our live show, I don't want to just do the same thing all night long. I want there to be different flavors for everyone.
Cool, because I was going to ask you about your songwriting process. Like, how does it go? You start with a musical idea or just the idea for the lyrics? And, how does it end up on the album? Like, for example, how did, Geek and the Pink, how did it turn out to be that funky?
Right. Well, it begins... I prefer they start at the same time. Music and lyrics just happen at the same time. A song like I Won't Give Up, same time. A song like I'm Yours, same time. But then occasionally, you'll just be working on music, building up all these different grooves, and then there's, infinite possibilities on where you want your melody to go and your story to go. So a song like Geek and the Pink was more like that. We had this groove, we're playing around on it, and I was in a writing situation where I just felt out of place. I was a scrawny little kid wearing this pink shirt, and then there were all these big muscly hip-hop dudes all over the place. And I said, I can do this. Don't just sit there. So I just stood up. I was like, yo, look, the Geek in the Pink, take a stab at it. If you like the way I'm feeling,
Yeah.
And I just had to step up and own it with a little bit of freestyle, and that's really what set it off. And from there, I decided I would kind of finish that story.
So, how would you describe your music? I don't genre, like name? How would you call it if you had to?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, it's pop music.
I always put Mraz pop.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. It's Mraz pop. It's its own subcategory of
Yeah.
pop music.
Yeah. But you're the only one.
Thanks.
How do you keep the positiveness in you and your music?
I feel it's my duty now. You know, I really do. It's what I want to do for others. I think music is the greatest weapon in the war against unhappiness. And I don't need to hear a song that says, here's what's wrong. That's what the news does. You know, I don't need to hear songs that say, you know, I don't know, that are ungrateful or talk about bad things. I feel I have this ability to create music, and I have a choice to make it uplift and inspire, and I do it out of experience of constantly working on myself to stay stoked, you know, because I'm a human being and I get bummed out a lot. You know, I get frustrated, I get sad, I get lonely. You know, I get apathetic because the world just seems impossible to save.
Yeah.
But before I give up, I say, well, let me try one more time to better my situation. And when I do and I succeed, I try to put that success inside of a song, because I know that other people just need a soundtrack for their successes as well.
Yeah. We always travel a lot and actually tour a lot. And what I realized with you was that you have a lot of different bands. Like you play a duo with percussion, or you have a big band.
Yeah, but a big band.
Yeah, but with the horns and stuff. So, is it hard to like go back and forth?
Yeah, it's hard to go back.
Do you have a favorite among them?
You know, I have a new band that I'm starting right now that I hope people get to hear very soon.
Right.
It's still in the works, it's no secret. It's a totally different kind of music, and I'm excited, really, really excited about it. But to go back and forth between any group, from the percussion to the band. See, in the band, my band holds down, does the heavy lifting, and I just get to flow and do that sort of thing. Yet, because it's a band, there's usually a set list and a set of rules we're going to follow, which limits it. Then on the other hand, when I go and play the acoustic show, you know, it's up to myself on guitar and my percussions to do all the heavy lifting on the music, but there's no set list. We have the freedom to go anywhere we choose, because it's the two of us. So, you know, can't have it all.
So I think our time's up. I have other questions, but time's up.
Well, thank you for the chat.